Welcome to the Bold Analysis. This one is a special episode for the hustler. Water, Sanitation and Irrigation CS Alice Wahome is revealing what can actually be a good, bitter, sweet deal between Kenya and the UK. But my worry, and joining the voice of stakeholders, is that we are in a process of even increasing the price of water. But remember, water is a basic commodity that all of us are entitled to. So without much ado, I want us to head direct to the Daily Nation, page 16. There is an interesting story there that was done by P. Mburu. Kenyans to pay higher tariffs for water from 100 dams to be built. Let me make you understand something. From William Ruto's when as a fashioned government, one of the key things that he has mentioned is about environmental conservation. And when he mentioned that he had interest on the climate and environmental conservation, he got a deal with the UK. So before even the UK deal, he was in some event and mentioning that government is planning to build 100 dams. And building of the 100 dams, the reasoning behind it is it will boost availability of water, and with availability of water, we are going to irrigate our farmlands, and through that we can have more products from the farm. With that surplus, we can reduce the cost of living. So there are two things to it. One is availability of water, and we are at a critical time when we are even facing drought. Number two is that when we have water, we can do farming and we can irrigate our land, and through that we can boost our produce. And so I want to take you through this, that on Monday 15th of September, on the 29th Institute of Engineers of Kenya convention that Waziri Wahome was opening, she opened up a lid and on what exactly the deal that Kenya has with UK. And she was pushed to the corner by stakeholders to explain how a model where private the private entities can cooperate, or rather can have a partner with government, and with that partnership, how that partnership is going to ensure that price of water is not high. And number two, how they are going to get back their money. This is a very important question. And of course, I want us to look at the Grand High Falls Dam, the 500 billion project that is now causing controversy between Tharaka Nithi that is supposed to be built and is supposed to affect the counties of Tharaka Nithi and Kitui. This is a project that is part of the 500 billion deal that President Ruto signed with the UK Prime Minister in the Egypt meeting. And the model of it, one thing I've been wondering, or what also people are trying to unravel, this is a partnership between UK. Initially, it was reported as a partnership between UK and Kenya, but Waziri is saying that's going to take PPP model, where public-private sector model. And so what it means is that someone, an investor, is actually pumping money in that project, and that investor could be coming from the UK. UK commissioner confirmed to the nations part of the details of the deal, of course not of it, and this is it. At the end of the project, when that 500 billion dam is built, Kenyans will have to pay higher tariffs. That means just increasing the cost of water to enable the investor to recover his money. This is something very understandable. That The investor is giving us money and is going to build that project, is going to run that project. But at the end of it, the water that is going to come from that dam will be sold at a higher price that will be prorated, calculated, so that the investor gets back his money. What I don't know is for how long are we going to sell water enough to pay the investor? The water will be used for irrigating the farmland, and the proceeds that is going to come from that will be used to pay the investor. I want us to look at this same article and the charges. The amount the rice farmers in Kirinyaga pay per acre for irrigation water is 3,000. In this year, the proposed levy that the rice farmers were opposed to is they're actually being charged 15,000, and they opposed. Now, with this, we're most likely going to see a hike from the 3,000 to even as much as 20. And so, the private sector will be coming out there to make the money. And that is why for them, it is an opportunity to get money. No one has a problem with that. But then, ironically, this is what is happening. I want us to take the model for the SGR. SGR, people were compensated, even though there was a lot of cries of people who have never been paid. But on this project, the squatters that are going to be hounded out of their land there is a plan that they will be settled in Meru National Reserve. The irony is this, that a project is also supposed to help us conserve environment, and we are taking human beings to settle them in an animal habitat. So aren't we not even solving the problem of conserving the environment? I don't want to go far. Kalonzo Musyoka is telling President Uhuru Kenyatta, and has joined the voices of Kitui and Tharaka Nithi residents, that just give these people their money, compensate them individually, so that they can search for areas to stay, so that with that you also take care of their dignity. You cannot take people to go to settle them in a game park. That's what Kalonzo Musyoka is saying. My good friend Tom Mutuma will tell you that this is just politics of this project, because there is also a possibility that even Stevie himself is supposed to be compensated. He might be one of the squatters. You know, when people know projects are coming, they'll normally rush, go buy land there with the expectation that they are going to be compensated. So here is one for you hustlers, that we are talking about a project. We are talking about a project that is supposed to avail water to us. The same water, the intention is that it must give us. It should boost our food security. But aren't we commercializing it? Now, I want to point out something, and this is what I think President Ruto and the team and Waziri should take a look at from my view. They should review the labor import threshold in these projects so that it should be friendly to Kenya to avail jobs to our skilled labor, our engineers, and even the Juakali sector. We knew very well that one of the critics of SGR deal was that any other material that was needed for the project preferentially was supposed to be procured from China. Now on this one, even labor, quite a number of engineers were from the Chinese company. Now on this one, if we also want to solve our unemployment problems, we should have a review with the UK firm, because one thing I understand is that the firm going to do that construction is a UK firm, so that we know what is going to be imported from where. And in terms of skilled labor, what is the threshold of the people that we are going to take from Kenya? And how can this project also boost our Juakali sector? It's a very important question. For me, that is very important. And I want to still request you guys to subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell, and also like our video. I want to say thank you very much. If you see this space here, I've just tried to open up so that you can see the spaces. It's just for open. We're open for advertising. The email, I've just pinned the email there. You can reach out to us and we can talk on how we also give visibility. We can reach a deal on how we can also give brand visibility during our analysis. So thank you very much for the few that have already been responding. And we are also ready for exclusive interviews, so you can reach out to us on that front. There is something that Waziri and President Ruto must look at. It is supposed to boost our security, our food security, availability of food, because at the end of the day, because this is a business model, this is someone just establishing a portion mill somewhere, then saying that because I've invested, I've put up this portion mill, I will have to maybe shaga for you, grind for you guys at some extra cost. Aren't we commercializing water? And because that water will be a factor of production in our farmland, it's one of the things that we'll need for irrigating our land. If we have high tariffs on water, and this water is used to produce for production in our farmland, are we going to reduce the price of the product? Are we going to reduce the price of the product? This is what is worrying me, and I hope someone gets it. We are saying that we have an investor, ni kama anatupea maji at some price, but the same water we are selling to farmlands. People are doing irrigation farming. And so the rice, or rather, even if it's going to be taken from my maize plantation somewhere, what will come from there will most likely be highly commercialized. And so our problem of solving, reducing the cost of wunga and other products cannot be solved. In rather, what I'm saying, this is a purely business. The model is the same as that of SGR, where they gave us loan, constructed the SGR, then the revenue stream is used to pay them. It's the same model that we're using for the dam. In fact, no one should now lecture us about SGR, because that's the same model we're using here. Now, I think with that transparency is very important on the project, so that it does not face the skepticism like that of SGR. People need to understand what is behind it. This is water that, of course, it will also be supplied for consumption, especially for even household. It will be sold to the county government, and so it is a big project. In fact, it's good because it's going to give us some jobs, of course. But then, the produce, are we going to have a situation where maintenance, who is going to maintain the dam? It needs everything to be laid bare. And in fact, the biggest scare is that it can inflate the price of water. That should be addressed, so that in public participation, such a project must employ or must look at extensive stakeholders engagement. Guys, you need to look at this way. You need public participation to ensure all stakeholders understand. But you know, water is a basic commodity. Every Kenyan is entitled to it. So otherwise, it will face some rebellion. You will understand. People must understand why they are not being compensated and they are being taken to the game reserve. Now, is that the stake? Because we say it is a 500 billion project. Now, if we are taking them to government land, the game park is a government land. Is government being compensated? Or where are taking the animals? You know, there are loose ends into it. And I think for this one, they need to get it very right. I want to agree with my very good friend from Ghana. Foreign deals are good. They are take-off projects for Africa. But it is high time that Africa asks the real questions, examines in terms of, are they giving us solutions? Is it a sustainable solution? We understand that in the areas of Turkana and where pastoralist communities stay, they've had problem with water. And the same, we've also had issues of oil. Oil levy, part of the oil levy is going to the construction of roads there and some few projects here and there. So in terms of this one, it's supposed to avail water. But is it solving our problem of food security? Or are we just commercializing water, which in turn will commercialize any other product that will come from the farmland? Are we just increasing the tariff? Because we need to find a solution. I've always said, and I asked even before I did this analysis some time back, that are we being given a 500 billion loan? And we're not telling Kenyans it's a loan. The truth is, the 460 billion SGR deal was a loan. 500 billion the UK deal is a loan. Why aren't we making it clear that, okay, an investor is putting it here and this investor will want it? What happens in future? What happens to our loan reduction rate? Ladies and gentlemen, this is very passionate to me, and I believe that Waziri and government means well, that it will not be and it will not bring increase in the price of water. Thank you very much. I want to say a special shout out to my English teacher, Mr. Frederick Odiambo from Agoro Secondary School. Yes, he's going to retire on 23rd of November after being in the teaching career for 36 years. So, asante sana. Yes, he's the man behind the careers of many people. And may God bless you, wherever you are, for that. Certainly.